What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Travis. Of course, you are watching TWA Motorsports, and today we're going to be running all over the place. We're going to be moving some stuff. We're going to be putting some stuff on. We're going to be measuring some stuff. So let's start with, we need to get this shop a little rearranged. I need to get the 72, the poor 72. I got caught in the rain in the middle of a cruise. It's been a couple months ago. I haven't even been able to wash this thing. Guys, the battery, it was dying that day. It needs a new battery. I've got a new Optima battery over there that I'm gonna stab in this thing. So we need to get it moved a little closer to the wall. And the reason we need to do that is we need to open up a little access here in the center so I can pull stuff in and then pull it right back out. So I'm planning to move the 72 over after we get the battery in it, move the green truck a little closer to the 72, and then that should open the center path to do other projects. As you can see, we've got a lot of them going on, and I know I keep adding. We got the turbo truck outside that I want to strip down. We got a lot of stuff going on, but I've got parts over there for my dad's SSR that I'm hoping to get installed. We need a spot to do that. I've got the switch for the passenger side heat on this. It finally came in. I had to buy a used one for the seat heater. I've got, the main reason I want to move all this stuff is that it's coming up on car season. And obviously we can drive the 72 when there's just 3 of us or 2 of us, but there's generally 4 of us that go together. So I want to be able to drive the 53. And when the 53 was built, I think it was just built to go to car shows and then straight home. Because guys, the rear tires are rubbing, and I'm going to show you a little more on that when we get this kind of freed up in the center so I can pull it forward, because I want to fix that and make it a little more driver friendly. The other thing it needs is it really needs some ride height sensors. The settings that are in there are great for when there's one driver in it, but when you have multiple drivers, it tends to dip down on one side or the other, and you're constantly adjusting the pressure. So, but the first thing is when we took it out for that first drive, I didn't show you guys, but we took a transition from one road to another, and when that rear end tilts, it touched and stopped the car in the road. So I can't have that. And when I got back, I looked under it. It is definitely touching. You'll see here in just a minute, but let's get some other stuff accomplished. I think, like I said, we'll start with the 72. I may have enough room. Yeah, I think with the golf cart, we're gonna have to move the golf cart out, obviously, but I think I've got enough room. Let's pop this hood and we'll start right here on getting this battery replaced. It's been a minute since I opened the hood. See if I can find the hood pop. All right, it's gonna take 2 hands. This poor truck. This battery, like I said, guys, was completely toast. This looks like a used battery. Return used battery. I've never even seen, I don't even know what brand this is. Let's go see what sizes these are. That looks like a 10 millimeter, but that, I don't know, that may be a 13. Yeah, it was a 13 down there, but this right here seems to be a little bigger. That's a 12. I bet it's standard. Oh, no, 12 will work. Let's see if we can get this guy out of here. And then, like I said, I'm a pretty big fan of Optima batteries. It's kind of, some people like them, some people hate them. I've had really good luck with them over the years. So let's set this thing off, see if we can get it out. I think we should be able to slide it back and get it out. I think this is the same group size. Well, maybe not, but I think it'll work. It's snug down. It's not technically the correct size, I don't think. I don't know, maybe it is. Actually, you know what? Let's hook up the positive first. The reason I like Optima batteries is I am a big fan of AGM batteries, just because they don't leak acid and rust everything underneath it. That's just why I like them. So let me see if I can get this thing pushed all the way down, and we will snug it up and give it a shot. Seems to fit okay, not moving around. Let's go grab the keys to the turbo Silverado here, move it out of the way, move the golf cart, see if this thing will fire up, and we can move it over a little bit. Well, like I said, we've got to move the Silverado first. Look at those buffing marks on the side of this thing. Hopefully she'll start. There it goes. Just need to get out of the way a little bit. That should be good. Now let's pop that garage door open and see if we can get the golf cart out of the way. You know when people say you should build, what size shop should I build? Whatever you think you need, triple it. Honestly, because I thought there's no way with what I had before that we would ever fill this shop up. But as you can see, I mean, that's my problem, right? For buying stuff. But anyway, got the golf cart out of the way. Let's see if I can even get in the 72 for one. And then if I can get in it, let's see if it'll start. Oh, I think I can get in it. Old carbureted stuff, you know. Let's see if we can let it run out here. Come on, baby. Go. It's probably mad at me. Now all I want to do is just move this thing over a bit. I think I can do that. I have to watch. I'm gonna have to put the camera down and kind of watch my grill and bumper over there. The OCD in me will not allow me to park crooked with these lines. So we've got it moved over. That's what I was wanting. Now let's see if we can kind of bring the green truck over and back. I think we've got enough room to do that and kind of butt it up right against this thing. It's easier when you have more people watching, but I think we can do it. I think we got enough room to bring this over real quick. Got the green truck lined up. I wanted to make sure that, as you can see, we can clear the 53, pulling it in and out. Got the golf cart back in here, the dash somewhat put in. Let's back the red truck back up here for now, and then we will move over to, let's try to center this thing up, see if we can get that passenger side heated seat switch knocked out. Actually, before we do that, this thing's driving me absolutely bananas. Let's see if we can't release these clips and get this nasty thing off of here. I can't stand, it's probably hitting the motor. Oop. Yeah, I figured these clips are brittle and they're gonna break. Probably gonna need 2 hands for this operation. Oh, that one didn't break, that's good. But I'm making a mess on my clean engine. Let's get this thing out of here. Just a few clips, that thing's out of the way. Wipe down our mess we made. Doesn't really matter. Oh, that didn't fit. That didn't fit well. I think somebody didn't get it in there all the way. That's all right. This motor's coming out, and look, it has not gotten any quieter as far as the ticking noises. I know I was trying to get some of the tick out of it, but just is what it is, guys. We're gonna pull this motor out soon, but let's center it up, get that heated seat switch installed. See my new part here, or new to me part. I don't, like I said, I don't understand why they don't sell these new, but they sell the driver's side one new. Made a big mess too because I had to drive through my oil leak. But you don't need a lot of tools to do this, really. You just need a couple pry tools and a 7mm. Let's see if we can get this thing. I'm probably not even gonna try to take the light out if I can keep from it. And a lot of times this one up here you can get by hand. You don't even need a pry tool. Get this guy out. And then we are going to use one of these. Probably use a smaller one. Get behind this. Pop this out. May have to use two hands here. Where we need to pop it out is actually right here. Same thing here. Pop this guy out. And I believe you want to pop around the outer side because there's a lip right here that goes in. We can twist this. We don't actually have to take this off. I just don't want it banging around, but you can see the clip I'm talking about. So if you pry from there, you could break that clip. Clips are all in good shape. Now all we need to do is take out this 7mm, and there's another 7mm right here. That's what they should look like. See, the short one goes up top and the long one in the handle. And now this thing should be loose. Like I said, I'm going to leave the light because all I'm going to do is just lift this panel up and off. And then I'm going to release the clip on the back of this, which you can see it right there on the back side of that. And you're probably thinking, well, this one looks in good shape. Well, if you get really close, you can see that some of the black has worn off. And so what it does is it all shines really bright at night. And this one doesn't have that problem. You see, I've got the old one out. Let's see if we can thread the new one in here. Front goes in first. I'm gonna have to use two hands, guys. I should have set my tripod up. Let me slide this forward and get this clip in. Once you get it where it's supposed to go, then all we have to do is plug it into the bottom of the handle, the same place we unplugged the other one. And I couldn't show you that because obviously I don't have the entire panel off. Got it plugged in. What you want to make sure of is there's clips in the bottom, so you kind of got to seat the top and then lift it back up a little and seat the bottom, because this is not what you want. You'll know you're seated when you go all the way around the ledges and there's no gap. This one right here, sometimes it's hard. There's one right here in the center. And so if this is bulging out, you need to lift it up, make sure that clip gets in. But we are good. Now all we got to do is reverse the process. 7mm in the handle. Put all this back together and we'll give it a test. Let's start it up now. Make sure it works. It only works started. All right, that's what I wanted. Perfect. It's working. Both sides. New to me, brand new. Now that we got that accomplished, we're going to move this thing out of the shop and we're going to see if we can figure out what we need to make that rear end not rub. Well, before I do that, I'm going to try to clean up my mess here. That Tahoe is leaking. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a ton. I've seen way worse. I think the dually probably leaked a little worse. It needs a pan gasket like really bad. But like I said, we'll get there. I don't remember if I turned the battery off in this thing or not. It's been a minute since I moved it. It's gonna have to air up, which takes a hot minute. It's the other thing it needs is 2 compressors. But, oh, there we go. Carburetors, guys. It doesn't like to run when it's cold. Sounds good. All right, we're gonna have to let this thing air up for a minute, and then we'll see if we can move it over here and see exactly what's going on. Well, we were able to get it. Let's go get my roller, get under here. I want to show you guys what I'm talking about, where it's heading. Hopefully I've got a light that's not dead. I looked at this that day when this happened to us. I didn't see anything on the channel about it, but you can see here how close we are. I mean, the frame's close, but look how close we are to the inner fender well. You see that? But look how much room we have out here. So what we need to do is we need to measure how much room we can come out here, and then I'd like to measure the room that we have in between there. I don't even think I can measure that. I don't even think I can get my finger in there, to be honest with you. But that's what's happening when this rear end comes up and articulates. When there's a transition in the road, it hits. And like I said, guys, it stopped the car. I wasn't going very fast, luckily, but that could be very dangerous if you're driving down the road. This thing still needs such a good cleanup. Let's go get the tape measure. I'm going to measure how much room we've got here. This is a common issue on these things. Everybody puts, I mean, it's got a disc brake conversion, but you see, we've got 2 inches of clearance here. On the inside, maybe a quarter. And I say 2 inches because the fender skirt option is still on here. There's a little clip, a little piece right here to hold a fender skirt if you wanted that. So 2 inches is, it's really 2 1/8. But that means I need to move this thing out probably 1 inch. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. The right way would be to get the proper size rear end, and that's what they should have done, or the proper size offset on the wheel, but they didn't. So like I said, I really think this thing was built to like go to car shows and whatnot and then come home. Let me go over there and show you what I've got. I don't think it's gonna work, but you can at least see what I'm talking about. They make these, which is a hub-centric spacer, okay, that pushes your wheel out. Now, this is, I believe, measured in millimeters, so it's probably not the correct size. This is a 1/2 inch. So if I were to use this one, we would go from 1/4 to 3/4 on the inside, but we'd still have a little bit more that we could gain by pushing it out a little more. So I really think that I want to get it further out than just a 1/2 inch. I think we need more than that. But for the meantime, I may see if I can jack this thing up, and if it's even possible, because here's the other thing you need to watch if we do this. Lug nuts, okay? We need a ton of thread engagement. So when you get to the 1/2 inch, that's about the end of the rope. Once you get any bigger than 1/2 inch, you really need to make sure your thread engagement on your lug nuts is good. So what I may do is let's lift up the back of this thing. Let's see how much thread engagement. So I'm going to count how much it takes, and then I'm going to possibly put these on and then count how many it takes to get snug again. And one of the problems we may have, of course, these are such a thin wall that it came with a tool to take them off. I loosened that one up because I want to count how many threads that we've got engaged. I mean, it's not going to be precise, but I'm going to mark this right here with a pen, and then we'll count the revolutions on how much engagement we have. And then, like I said, we'll try to do that when we're going back together. But what I was going to say is right here, there's not a lot of room to get that wheel off. So I'm hoping I don't have to let the rear end loose in order to make this happen, because sometimes you just don't have enough room. That's the problem I had on the 55 over here. Getting the wheels in there is I had to loosen the rear end to let it down enough to even clear to pull the wheel out. But we'll give it a shot and see if we can do it like this. Only had 9 passes, which, guys, 6 is really what you want. 6 revolutions, 6 threads is what you'd like to grab. So chances are this is not going to work without an actual spacer, not an adapter, I guess you would call it, not a spacer. We're still going to give it a shot. I'm going to go ahead and loosen up the rest and see kind of where that lands. I screwed up and used the wrong jack, as you can see. So I need to get it higher in order to get the wheel off. It'll work, but we've got to jack it up quite a bit more, and it's very close to the brake. So what I did was I snuck that spacer in there. I'm going to put the wheel back on and see exactly how many threads that we can get in it. Definitely not going to work. I'm going to leave it right here for a second because I'm going to see exactly how much room we have now. But I got 1.5 turns, actually 1.25, I guess, before it snugged up. So guys, that is not enough thread engagement. It's just not going to work. So we're going to have to go the adapter route, which sucks. I hate adapters. But I'm also not going to order a brand new set of wheels for this car, and I'm not going to go through the trouble of replacing the rear end, or at least not right now. I just want to drive it. So I put spacers on the last 54 that I had, and I never had any issues with it. And the main reason we had to do it on that one is it had a 2-wheel drive S10 rear end in it. I think this could be potentially the same rear end, and they had the wheels made for it. but they were off a little bit. So the main thing I wanted to measure is the hub size, okay, so the center of the wheel, and that matches up perfectly on this. So I can use that as a guide to get my measurements. And then, like I said, I think I'm gonna go with a 1-inch spacer, and that'll solve our issues. Now, one other option you can do if they don't make a 1-inch spacer, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to look at how much room we had there when I had this up there. But you could take the rear end apart, press out those studs, put ARP studs in that are longer, and then you could run a thicker spacer. But guys, I'm telling you, I just don't love that option either. Your wheel needs to really ride on the hub, okay? So even these aren't technically correct. This is more of a spacer. Now it's hub centric, but it should have a ring or a lip that sets out for your wheel to set on, because your wheel should ride on the hub, like the center here, not on the lug nuts. You don't want to put your weight on the lug nuts. But since I didn't look at that, I'm just gonna have to go based off my measurements. I'm gonna buy some 1-inch if I can find them. Let's get her back together. I just went in and ordered 1-inch spacers, and here's why. I feel like if we split the difference, right, we got 2 inches on the outside, we got about a 1/4 inch on the inside. That'll give us 1 1/4 inches on the inside, and that'll give us, what, about 1 inch on the outside, and that should center that wheel up perfectly. Like I said, it's not the correct way to do things, but when you're ordering wheels, when you're sizing up stuff, guys, make sure and double check that. Anyway, the last thing I want to do in this video is, I don't know if you guys have noticed, maybe the sun will catch it, we've got some marring in this. Now look, with the amount of work that I have going on out here with all these projects, I've talked to a couple people about paint correcting this thing. I want it to look nice. I want to ceramic coat it. So I don't think I'm going to do this myself, but I'm interested to see if some of these Mars will come out with just a single stage polish. If they will, then maybe I might attempt this myself. But if it's going to take a more aggressive, like 18, 20 hour polish, guys, I just don't have that time. I'll probably hire it done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab some quick detailer, which is a big no-no on black, but I'm going to hit this area right here. I'm going to grab my polisher, so my Rupe's polisher, and we're going to hit this area with just single stage M205, and let's see if these Mars right here will come out. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. If they don't, that means we got to get a little more aggressive with a little higher quality pad. Let's give it a shot. Now I've closed the door so you can see what I'm talking about. It's just poor maintenance, you know, poor washing methods. And I think it probably will clean up. But I'm going to just do the top side, basically from this spot on the fender over to the hood. And let's just see. M205. Rupe's polisher with just a foam pad. See what we can do. So like I said, I just hit it with some M205, and it cleaned up a lot of it, but yeah, it's gonna need a dual stage. You can see it looks way better than what it did, but it's far from my level. It's gonna need way more aggressive polishing. Now, when you look from here to here, you can see it right there. See how it gets hazy? This took the haze out. And look, would this be way better? Absolutely. But can we do better? Yeah, I think we can, but I don't think I want to be the guy who does it. So anyway, guys, I think that is going to be a wrap on the stuff we are doing today in the shop. I'm hoping, like I said, to clear up some spots in order to get the red truck in here and maybe start tearing into it. I still got something I'm waiting for on the Tahoe before I started that process, but I really need to get the red truck torn down, get some of the stuff off of it, and maybe find a spot to put it in the shop while we're doing some other stuff. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the me bouncing around on several different projects today video. If you did, like always, go down there and hit that thumbs up button. Guys, if you're not subscribed, go down, hit that subscribe. Of course, like always, ring that bell notification. That will notify you every single time we drop a new video on this, that, or one of these others. And stay tuned to see what we work on next.